We are exactly 1 week removed from the conclusion of the 2022 season of Lehigh Valley IronPigs baseball. With that, let's talk some pigs. Season in review, and with that, we will bring in two of our resident IronPigs experts, Steve Degler, Doug Heater. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Let's start simply with this. First year for the Pigs under first-year manager Anthony Contreras. Thoughts on the job AC did this year?
Well, I think with what he had to deal with as far as the amount of different players he had, the roster he had, the pictures he had, he did pretty good. What was interesting about AC is the players told us, Steve, on media day that he's a workaholic. We saw that. He likes routine, he has his way, and he continued to work these guys hard every day, even late in the season where he made most of those on-field workouts and the batting practice workouts optional.
I feel really bad for him, to be honest with you, because this was a good team. They were in first place at one point in September. They really faltered down the stretch, but the Phillies really picked them over because of injuries at the major league level. Those guys that went to the big leagues were never really replaced, especially in the starting rotation where they had one or two starters for a 6-game series, and you just can't sustain that going bullpen games day after day after day. I thought all in all, with what he had to deal with the injuries and the call-ups, he did a really solid job.
Pigs ultimately finished the year 76 and 72, identical 38 and 36 marks at home and on the road. They finished tied for fourth in the East Division. 76 wins, good for the fifth most this team has won in the 13 years since coming to the Lehigh Valley. So all in all, a good first season for Anthony Contreras. Time now to hand out some end of season awards, and I'm going to join you guys on this, but I'll let you guys go first. Let's start. Simply put, most valuable player. Doug, who you got?
Well, for me, it was a no-brainer all season long, and that's Derek Hall. I mean, this is a guy that had he stayed with the IronPigs, he would have set the single-season records for home runs and RBIs. He was third on the team in games played, second with runs scored, second with 102 hits, 208 total bases, number one on the team. 24 doubles, was good for second behind Dalton Guthrie, led the team with 28 home runs and 88 RBIs. He also only struck out 100 times in 101 games played. He finished one home run shy of the Reese Hoskins record in 2017, and Andy Tracy had 96 RBIs in 2009. He finished with 88. Hall played tremendous defensively, played tremendous offensively. He's easily my team MVP.
That's a great pick. There's no doubt about it. I'm actually going to go with a pitcher, and I never go with a pitcher. I'm a position player guy all the way, but Michael Plassmeyer was unbelievable. He started the year in the Giants organization at AAA Sacramento for San Francisco, 0-6, a 7.38 ERA there. After he was traded to the Phillies on June 8th for Austin Wynns, he went 6-3 with a 2.41 ERA in 16 starts for the IronPigs, 82 strikeouts in 82 innings, a 1.05 whip, and a .211 opponent's batting average against him. He had 11 strikeouts, a career high against Syracuse on August 3rd. In his last 45 innings of the year, a 1.40 ERA, allowing just 29 hits and striking out 51, and he made his major league debut, deservedly so, August 23rd against Cincinnati. In a key win for the Phillies that night, he retired all 4 batters that he faced. He's not the hardest thrower, but he knows exactly what he's doing out there, a little bit like Cole Irvin was in his day in an IronPigs uniform. He pitches, he doesn't throw, and for me, he was the top player on the IronPigs this season.
So your MVP was the International League Pitcher of the Month for August. Doug's MVP was the IronPigs Hitter of the Year. My MVP is a guy who has been with the big club for the past couple of weeks, and that's Dalton Guthrie. Ended up leading the team with 102 hits, 64 runs scored, 27 doubles, and 21 stolen bases. And again, that is despite missing the Pigs' final 14 games of the regular season, playing up in Philadelphia. Not only tremendous at the dish, but versatile in the field. He played 6 different positions in the field. The majority of his work in center and in right, but he also got a couple of games at second, a couple of games at short, played 1 game in left field and 1 game in third base. And oh, by the way, he DH'd twice as well. Opened the season with a 4-game hitting streak in which he went 8 for 16 and really never looked back from that point. Guthrie didn't go back-to-back games without a hit through the season's first month. He had 5 hitting streaks of 5 or more games this season, including a season-best 8-game hitting streak from June 25th to July the 4th. And boy, did Guthrie ultimately earn that major league call-up when it came. He had 21 hits in 11 games with the Iron Pigs before going up to Philadelphia. 21 for his last 47 with 6 doubles, 9 knocked in, and 10 runs scored. So I've got Dalton Guthrie as my MVP this season. Doug went with Derek Hall, Degs with Michael Plassmeyer, all deserving choices. We certainly had a few different key guys to choose from here in 2022. Let's go bigger picture now, less individual and maybe more team, and focus in on our top moments. Many great moments this season. Doug, what's your top moment of the year?
Well, one stands out for everybody, but I'm going to go with mine with Derek Hall and what he did early in the season. So he had a 2-home run game on April 20th of this year. His last 2-homer game before that was on April 13th of 2018 with Clearwater. So a 2-home run game. Then 3 days later, on the 23rd, he does it again, hitting a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first, then another 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. And the other thing with Derek Hall is that he split 2-2 here, rock, paper, scissors, with third base coach Greg Brzezinski. That, to me, stands out with what he was able to do not only once, but twice in the same homestand, a 2-home run game.
Go rock all the way. That's what he should have done. I'm going to go with the pitcher again. This is another upset. Bailey Falter. He would have been my MVP had he been here the entire season. His final start in a Pigs uniform this year was August 10th against Charlotte. This was after he had a great performance in the big leagues for the Phillies in Pittsburgh in his previous outing. This was 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Didn't get a decision, however. He proved he was ready for the big leagues. He went 4-1 with a 1.91 ERA in 9 starts with Lehigh Valley this year. 6 walks, 49 strikeouts in 47 innings. He's become really consistent and dependable in the big leagues. Really just 1 bad start in his last 9 appearances with the Phillies. This performance showed me he was definitely ready to make the jump finally and permanently to the major league level. He was that good this night against Charlotte at Coca-Cola Park.
So for your guys' top moments, you both took players that excelled here and ultimately went up to help the big club. I'm going the other way, and a guy from the big club who came down to spark some real life here in the Lehigh Valley for a couple of days. Doug mentioned there's one moment that stands out. I know it's low-hanging fruit, but low-hanging fruit is still just as nutritious. August 23rd and 24th, 2 games against Gwinnett. Of course, Bryce Harper in town. First of all, it led to back-to-back sellout crowds of 10,100 fans at Coca-Cola Park. And there was just a juice and excitement at CCP for these 2 nights when Harper was there. And the saying goes, anticipation is better than the real thing. That was until Harper showed up in the Lehigh Valley. Night 1, he hit 2 home runs, including a solo homer in his very first at-bat before a 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 8th. Very next day, what could he do for an encore? How about 3 for 5 with a couple of doubles and 2 runs knocked in? You think he was here to go through the motions? Hardly. He was here to play, and he participated with the game-winning knock in the bottom of the 9th inning, this walk-off 2-run double, propelling the Pigs to back-to-back wins over the Stripers. Just 2 games, but boy, were they good. He finished 5 for 8 with 4 extra base hits, 6 runs batted in, 3 runs scored, a couple of wins for the Pigs. And who will ever forget Bryce Harper here in the Lehigh Valley, and all 3 of us lucky enough to be part of that homestand and the 2 games that Bryce was here with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. So 3 excellent MVP choices, 3 great top moments, putting a bow on a wonderful season that was. But let's quickly look ahead to next year in the 2023 campaign. Give us a couple of names that fans should keep an eye on in the offseason that might be ready to excel at CCP a year from now.
Well, I know that's the 2 pitchers that everybody's going to be talking about. I'm going to pick one of them, and Mick Abel. He was a 2020 first-round pick for the Phillies, 15th overall, but this season a total of 130 strikeouts in 2 levels between Jersey Shore and Reading, and 108 innings pitched, 108 in the 3rd innings pitched. So I think this is going to be one of those top prospects coming into the season that's going to be exciting if we do indeed, and we should see him at Lehigh Valley.
I'm going to go with his running mate, the 2021 first-round pick, pitcher Andrew Painter, who not only won the Paul Owens Award as the top pitcher in the Phillies organization this year, he was Baseball America's minor league pitcher of the year. 6-2 with a 1.56 ERA, 155 strikeouts, and 103 2/3 innings. He is barely out of his teenage years. He's a guy that maybe doesn't even play here next year. He might go right to Philadelphia if things fall right for him in spring training, but I think he'll be here at some point, and I'm really excited to see what he can do against some more advanced hitters.
It would really be something if those 2 guys, after minimal Double-A work, make the jump to the majors at the start of the next year. And knock on wood, fingers crossed for us, we're lucky enough to see them here in Lehigh Valley a year from now. A great season over at Coca-Cola Park. a record number of games for the Iron Pigs this season in 2022. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all your work over at the ballpark this season. Enjoy a little bit of an off season, but more baseball to come. Doug, Degs, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.